Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Jury. My name is Mangezi, and today we're celebrating a special month in that it is the Women's Month, so we have a special panel. Better panel that I normally have. So, guests, please may you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Henry.
Hey, I'm Shanae. I'm Refile.
And in Joburg,
I'm Palisa.
I'm Linda.
Kanye.
So before we get started, guys, I just want to point out to everyone that's watching, we don't really have an Arsenal shirt on the wall this week because Arsenal ain't really shit. So yeah, they need to take a warning for the week. Nonetheless, as we continue, we're gonna have a review with the gents as normal. And when we go into the floor is yours, we're not gonna have to present the facts. We're gonna have an open discussion about women's football and everything interesting about it. So stay tuned and stay hyped. Enjoy. Welcome to The Floor is Yours. And like I said earlier on, we have special guests to join us for The Floor is Yours. This week we'll be talking about women's football, the wage gap, and how football is perceived on the TL. But before we get into The Floor is Yours, apparently those coons in Joburg have something to say.
Alright, thank you, Jeezy, for that. Because we love our ladies and we love celebrating, we, the Jury family and the family from Attilia, would like to give these ladies a nice Attilia Brut Rosé 2013. Compliments of Attilia. They are a new brand, black owned. These are great guys. So yeah, guys, if you see Attilia, please buy it. It's amazing. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Team Cape Town, you ain't shit. Good, yo.
Yeah, fill mine up to the top.
Yes, bitch. All South African made though. So say
Now we chat. What's your team?
Khali. What were you saying?
No, because we're gonna.
Yeah, what were you guys saying? Yeah, keep talking, yeah.
I can't hear you past the fizz.
Hello, how you, yeah? Are you nervous? So what do you guys think about women's football, yeah?
Alright.
Okay, cheers, guys.
So cheers, ladies. Hope
Cheers
you guys
to-
enjoy it.
Thank you.
Cheers to
Thank
us.
you. That's it, man.
Welcome back to The Floor is Yours. First and foremost, I think it's very important to get to know our guests. So I'm going to ask the table, which teams do you guys support and why? And how do you guys think you did today in terms of your fixtures? Joburg, we're going to start with you. Maluwe.
Okay. So I support Arsenal, like wholeheartedly, you know. I think it's a brilliant team. No, I'm kidding. I supported Arsenal when I started, you know, dating Deboko. And yo, I mean, it's a dog show right now, but what can we say? I mean, from the start, I always knew that, you know, this team, it's not looking too good. But you know what? Seriously, I think like in the far future, there's hope, man. Like maybe 2020, things can happen. Definitely.
In the very distant future. Oh, wait, thank you very much, Maluwe. We'll bring it back to Team Cape Town. Refile.
Yeah, sure, guys. Look, I've been supporting Chelsea since we're playing one-touch footy. They were Didier Drogba's captain. So I've been, you know, for a minute now. I was very happy with today's review, I won't even lie, but I'm quite selfish. So I just feel like it wasn't necessary for Victor Moses to go head on straight to Pickford. Like, that wasn't necessary. And Pedro went wide. So I'm very selfish. Like, the more we can get, the better. But I'm happy, man. 3 points, so we're good. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much, Refile. We will move on to Henri. Alright.
Okay, I'm a Chelsea supporter, been a Chelsea supporter,
There we
waiting
go.
for the money. We're a winning team, we've got the winning mentality always. I mean, we're one of the most successful English teams in the past 15 years. And I think we did pretty well this weekend. We kept a clean sheet, we were very, very dominant, we pressed a lot. So I'm really, really hyped to see where we're going to go with the season going forward. So, yeah.
I
That's me.
completely agree. Thank you very much, Henri. Kanye?
Man U all the way. Kanye, Man U supporter. Man U sort of found me and I found Man U. The first shirt, my first soccer jersey actually, was handed to me, and it was Beckham number 7, and ever since then it's been this. We've been together, and I'm really excited for my team, but I'm not so excited. We've only played 3 games. We haven't played against the biggest teams yet, but I am super excited over how the scores and how we're leading the table right now, so I have no complaints, but yeah.
Thank you very much, Kanye. Now, Linda, we'll stay in Joburg and we'll ask Linda how she feels about football. What it do that side, Ms. Mkiza?
Well, I am a Chelsea supporter by relationship association. I've been following Chelsea for about a season so far, and the first season that I sort of really got into football, they were really successful, which I'm really happy about, that my person didn't choose me into a losing team. I would also say that I really enjoyed today's game. The start of Chelsea was a bit shaky, but things are shaping up where we are now, so I'm happy about that. Whatever.
Thank you very much. There's no need to drag other people while you're talking about your own team. Just stay in your winning lane. We'll stay in our losing lane. Thank you very much. Shanae Cooper?
Hey, Liverpool fan. You'll never walk alone. I started supporting football since I was a kid. I used to be a tomboy. My first game I watched was against Everton, Merseyside derby, and my dad was like, choose a team, and I chose the red team. I don't know. I think it was the only color I could decide at the time. And yeah, I anyways got a Michael Owen shirt afterwards. My dad put me on with the Michael Owen shirt, and yeah, I've been a diehard. You'll never walk alone.
Thank you very much.
That you'll never walk alone. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guests. So, now that we know a little bit about each other, I think it's time we start talking some real football. Women's football, guys. I don't know how you feel about women's football. I don't know if you support, if you watch, or if you follow women's football. But from what I know is that women's football and men's football are on 2 completely different brackets in terms of the markets. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people aren't willing to pay as much as they are willing to pay for women's football as they are for men's. And what ends up happening is that people don't get paid as much, and there's inequality within the sports, and we'd like to sort that out. So I'm gonna bring this topic to the floor, and I'm gonna ask you guys, how do you feel about the dramatic wage gaps that are occurring in football between men and women?
Can I just ask, just for clarification, like could you give me like an average of a male player, like a really good male player, and maybe a really good woman?
Okay, I'll take the floor with this. Okay, so basically, like the highest paid footballer, like being Ronaldo, like last year he took home 22 million just from football, and the highest paid female footballer took home $500,000 only, like Marta. Yeah, imagine. And there's only 3 players in female football players that have taken home over $100,000 from 2016. Only 3.
Like one,
like 3.
two,
Like we
3.
can count us like 3.
Guys.
Yeah. So that just to put that into perspective.
I don't think it's any kind of surprise, because wage gaps between women and men in any kind of industry is kind of looks like that, like a very large pay gap. So that doesn't surprise me. It's a reflection of our greater socio-economical, political history. Yeah, so that doesn't come as a surprise to me, I would say.
But I mean, surely because people generate, like the markets is generated from viewers. The support that fans bring in, and selling jerseys, selling tickets, and selling all those wonderful things. There's a bigger market in men's football as there is in women's football, because there's a bigger following. So how is it so that we would, I don't know, how do we make it fair that, or how do we even get the fees up, the wages? Yes, Kanye. Sorry, your hand has been up for a minute.
Yeah. So you're speaking about viewership and seeing women playing football. We don't see women playing football. It's not on our TV screens, which is like at the most fundamental and basic levels why people are not watching women playing football, because it's not being aired. Like at the most
access
base,
to it is
yeah,
not
the
there.
access to it is not there. Why would a sponsor pay for a footballer that they're not seeing? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
know of.
and not that I'm supporting the gender gap at all. I'm just saying that representation counts. The people writing stories about football are not women, it's men. The people controlling the sports deck at Sky News, BBC, wherever you call it, are men.
Yeah.
The people sitting on top of the boards are men. You don't have women representation on or off the field. So there's not good. You can't buy into something that you don't know, that you don't see. Why would you?
Definitely.
Okay,
Like, I'm with Kanye. I'm with Kanye.
Yeah,
so.
I want to just say, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if any of you guys keep up with women's football, but I do. And I can tell you, firstly, where they play. For example, women's football is played on the most, like they play their match days on training fields. So obviously playing in the stadium makes a difference. That's how you draw in crowds. That's how you draw in the hype. How are you supposed to get the hype
completely different ambience.
if you're playing on a training field? It's not the same thing. So there's things like playing on the training field. I'll speak with regards to Chelsea, for example. They only, I think as of last season for Champions League games, was the first time that the ladies team could use Stamford Bridge to play match day games.
Like
so
the
that
33rd,
makes it,
yeah.
those basic things make a difference. For women's games, in terms of, like you guys said, you don't see the games. They only show games when it's like a major tournament, like a World Cup. You don't see club
Or
games.
champions.
If you saw club games, you'd be interested. You'd want to see it more, but you don't see it. So how are you supposed to get interested in something that you don't see? So in terms of major tournaments, they'll broadcast it, but that's it.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at major TV deals, like Sky News signed a 5-point-something billion pound deal to broadcast the Premier League. They could have taken a quarter of that money and invested that in women's football, and would have made a difference in terms of getting people to watch the game in the first place. So all of those things play a really, really big factor in terms of how we view it, how many people view it. That would make a really, really big difference. That would get a lot more people to watch the game.
Like I'm with you, because the budget is very shaky. Like, we don't get allocated a proper budget. And also coverage is important. How are we gonna get endorsements if you actually don't get to view the football itself? You know what I mean? So I just think a big light needs to be shone upon it. And if we're really being honest, how is the interest, like how much interest are we showing towards women's football?
We're
like,
not.
female? How
We're
much
definitely
really
not.
from the audience? Because surely if there's a demand, there has to be a supply. You know what I mean? So I just think that we need to just even out the playing field. And in as much as we show interest in the normals men's football, we need to start shining the same light on women's football.
I just one more point. Because if you look at the men's game, let's talk. I'm not going to talk about La Liga. I'm not going to talk about other leagues. I'm going to focus on the Premier League itself. Okay? If we look at how much money goes into advertising the Premier League, like the Premier League is the best league in the world. Like all of us here, we get hyped on the Premier League based on not only how great the league is, but how it's advertised. If we were to advertise the women's game the same way, we could get a whole lot more people into the game. We could get a whole lot more people watching the game.
Yeah.
Like advertising the game is a really big factor in terms of getting people to watch the women's game.
I think another thing that's important to like recognize is that like the way women are valued in the sport is also different, because like the US team, female team won the World Cup, and they got paid way less than the male team who got kicked out in like the group stages. So like how like that difference, it just shows like how higher powers value women in the sport as well. And like if they don't show interest or value us, where and how do we expect other people to?
I agree. And just to, I feel like being a little bit controversial because there's a few questions and there's a few topics we've discussed. But just to touch on what Shanae said, just to give you an example of the discrepancy between the wage gaps, the US men they made this the round of 16 in the World Cup, and they got 8 million. Okay, for leaving the cup, they got 8 million. The women, they won the entire World Cup, and as a squad, as a team, as a nation, they got 2 million. So there is definitely a discrepancy which needs to be addressed. But that being said, do you not think that, okay, let me not ask you if you do not think, but from the discussions I've had with a few of my mates, women's football isn't as entertaining. Therefore, a lot of people have said that they're not going to watch the sport because it's not as entertaining as what they do normally watch on the weekend. So it's hard for them to actually get invested, to get involved, and feel like they can support a team.
Define entertaining. What's entertaining?
Joburg, I'm going to start with you, or the Premier League. I'm going to start with you, because we were just here.
But
Okay.
that whole thing of being entertaining is exactly pointing towards Henri's point of like how it's marketed. If it was put into a structure where the teams were given great training, getting to play in all the big stadiums and everything, I think my main point is just mainly that if we build these conversations on a bigger scale as well, I don't know how that could really happen, but I think the whole entertainment aspect, especially with men's football, is the excitement, is the the build up towards the Premier League and the marketing of all of it. So I don't know. To be very, very honest, I haven't watched many women's football teams, and maybe that's my own problem. And it's I don't know. It's almost like it's not taken as seriously,
Yeah.
and it's a mental thing as well.
Jeezy, since you posed the question, have you ever watched a women's football match from beginning to end?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I started the game, but I wasn't able to finish it because it wasn't as entertaining as I thought it would be. And I'm not saying that I don't think that the quality of football is good, because I do believe that women are very good at playing football, and I've seen very talented women footballers.
Have you seen Hope Solo play a match while she's the goal defender for the US women's team? Have you seen Wambach play? Alex Morgan. It's because it's not being given a chance, which is exactly what Henri and Palisa are saying, that it's not advertised. People don't care. And I'm not going to lie and pretend like I am some
Watching
person
every
that
week.
am watching every week. I haven't. The reason why I got into it is because of a friend who was into it. Then I started watching, but it's not being given the chance. Had it been advertised, these women can play. They can play. It's nuts.
100% they can play, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that my favorite footballer is not a man. My favorite footballer is definitely 100% a man. My favorite players are men, but why? It's because of the fact that I see them all the time. I see them not only on the pitch, I see them on Nike, I see them on Adidas adverts. That all of that pushes the endorsements. All of that pushes the image of your favorite players. Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo. I can name a.
They
I
can't
don't wanna-
propel
I don't wanna
themselves.
say
They
a
can't
word,
propel
but I can
themselves.
name a whole lot of players who I'm fans of, not only because of what I've seen them do on the pitch, but because of how they're advertised, marketing.
Yeah.
That plays a really, really big role in how you perceive these players.
We need to throw money at women's football. Full stop. Capital needs to be
Women's
thrown into
football
women's
not
football.
only needs money, but it needs support.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
it
going to
needs
sit here
support.
and say that a women's game is going to fill Stamford Bridge fills up like what, 42,000 people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's going to fill 42,000 people, but I'm saying make a certain section of the stadium available to people. Start with, let's say, 10,000 seats. Make 10,000 seats available.
Yeah.
See if you can fill the 10,000. Then work your way from 10,000 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 50.
If you hype it, we grow numbers.
If you hype
Literally
it,
as
you
simple
grow
as
numbers.
that.
And at the end of the day, these clubs actually stand to gain from pushing the women's game because they're going to make money from it as well. So that's the bottom line. If you look at the youth teams, the male youth teams actually started using the stadiums before the women's teams. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
A senior women's team started using the major stadiums
yeah.
after the youth teams. What does that tell you?
There's
It
something
shows you that
fundamentally
there's
wrong.
lack. They don't think that it's important. Do you understand? So if you had women playing in these stadiums regularly, filling up these seats, then the game would grow. But they're not willing to put in that extra effort to push the game to that level by making those seats available, advertising these women. Okay, let's also use FIFA, the game. The game. Women have only started appearing on FIFA in what, the last year or so? How long
What
have women
took
been
so
playing
long?
football?
Yeah.
They've been playing football for the longest time. Having women on FIFA pushes the game because that's how you get hyped about the players that you play with.
You learn about the
You
game.
learn
Yeah.
about the game. You learn about what your player is really good at because you know they're good at shooting, they're good at defending, they're good at whatever it is. That's how you get to know your players through the game as well. So that plays another factor in
Yeah.
how you see these players, and that will make you want to watch.
But
these
don't you
players.
think like a lot of companies are worried about reaching the bottom line? Like how many how many can you sell? Like, how many units can you sell if you say, okay, we're gonna have female FIFA game? I think that is the problem in itself. Like, you know what I mean? Where you're looking at the bottom line and that's it, and not how progressive we can be
but that's what
when
I'm
it
saying,
comes to women's
the
football.
higher power needs to like value women. Like, okay, let's look at Ballon d'Or, right? When there's the awards ceremony, right? Literally, women don't feature. We get like 3 awards, and then the rest of the awards go to
And
men.
then we take a back
And even
seat,
like
yeah.
the football player award of the year that goes to male, like it's the biggest thing. Like we all wait for that at the end. Like women's segment features in the middle. Like they don't value us. Like why can't we also shine at the end? Like give my award at the end so someone can look forward to seeing me too.
Yeah. Like build momentum.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, yes, we can't expect women footballers to be viewed the same way as men, but if we use the same business model that we use to market the men, to market the women, we could do exactly the same thing. Use the same model. It's clearly worked before, so use the same model with women. That's the bottom line. They're just, for me, the bottom line is they're not willing to put in that extra effort because, and the thing is, they're playing themselves because they could be making money off of it at the same time, because pushing the women's game makes them more money because it expands the game. You have more fans coming into your stadiums for more games. So at the end of the day, your club makes more money. So same business model that you use for men, you can use for women. The same thing works. It's clearly worked for your biggest superstars. If you look at your major superstars, it's worked. It will work for women as well. It's just a question of putting the effort in, and the effort's not being put in. It's not even like they're lacking funds. The funds are there. I mean, you have a player like Neymar being bought for 198 million. The money is in the game. The money is there. It's not a question of if they. Oh, sorry. I'm very passionate.
I'm gonna have to.
I'm done. I feel you, girl.
Thank you very much for your opinions.
I'm done.
But moving on, I must ask. It's something I've seen around, and you know, I don't think that it's marketed as well because of the markets itself. If you look back and I think it was the 2014 World Cup or the 2010. I think it was actually the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. We generated like 3.7 billion rand. I mean $3.7 billion from that World Cup, and I think it was the same year that they had the the Women's World Cup, and the entire World Cup itself generated $73 million. So for the people who are investing in this, they don't see as much a return as they do with men's football. And how do you pay people from such a small revenue?
The thing is, women first of all, women can make an impact in sport. Let's take this to I know we're talking football, but look at tennis. Women generate money. We can generate money if we get the attention.
Yeah.
So look at tennis. Serena Williams is doing the damn. Let Alex Morgan show her talent too.
Can you?
I hear you when you're talking about tennis, but that has been legislated. It's very different from football. I think they operate in different fields. But I get what you're saying. But my thing is that if you're asking investors, especially at a club level, you have to change the value, the fundamentals of investors. If you're thinking that you're going to go to an Arab man, let's just say put that as an example. You're asking people to change their fundamental values to see men and women as equals. I think it's easier to legislate at a national level, at a higher level, than opposed to you're not going to anybody. You're asking people who are investing. They're looking at teams as how people look at the market. You want to see your returns. You want to see you're going to win. But if you can't see that, you're not going to invest in that. And you can't ask the ordinary man on the street.
Just to hear, what you guys feel. Football Twitter. We're on there every weekend. We see what happens. We enjoy it. Well, for the most part, I enjoy it. I retweet. I love the TL on the weekend because it's football. But as being partners or siblings or relatives of football people, and you may not be a football person yourself, how do we feel about that?
I love football banter.
So
Genuinely, even when my team loses, I sometimes avoid the TL when my team loses.
I deactivate.
What is Genuinely, the
Activate.
bottom line is, as a football fan, you enjoy the banter. When your team wins, you talk crap about other teams. So when your team loses, you must take the crap. That's just the bottom line.
No,
It makes
I
it fun.
disagree. I disagree.
You don't take-
I disagree. If your team loses, why do you have to be there to hear the
don't
banter?
have
You can literally deactivate to watch the game. You know the stats. Why do you have to sit
No,
there
take
and
it.
get for people
No,
to
I run away from
I'll
it.
show up when I'm ready
Personally,
to
run away.
flaunt my victory. Like that's about it.
Let's respect
That's
each
about
other's
it.
thoughts.
You guys are Chelsea fans.
Team,
That's about it.
Team Cape Town, can we turn it over to Team Joburg? How do you guys feel about football Twitter? Love it, hate it, what it do?
When I was a non-football person watching whatever, football Twitter, soccer Twitter was really fucking annoying. But once you get into it and you kind of have someone to support and you have a team to support and you know what's going on, it's a little bit more bearable in that regard. But before I was not interested in, like, it's annoying and I would mostly try and mute everyone. Yeah. I mean, you also can't, like, tell people how to use their data, hey? Like, if you want to tweet about football, tweet about it. It can get annoying, but, I mean, just skim past it. I mean, the memes are great.
Yeah, the memes
are fucking hilarious. But, yeah, you learn to, like, read through it, really.
Yeah, and speaking on your point, I think what is the most annoying thing for me is people telling other people that they cannot support a team because your partner supports a team. Like, you can't support this team because you never supported it because you only support it because your partner supports it. Who cares? Who cares?
I have a question for that.
That's true.
I have a valid question. I have a valid
No, but wait, I'm not finished. I'm speaking to the point that I didn't wake up as a baby and be like, oh, I'm going to support Twitter. We're all socialized into things. If your partner watches something and you're there, you're watching it as well, are you not more inclined to watch it? So people that always have people about, you can't support this team, you just support it because your partner supports your team. Like, come up with a better argument. Me and my partner don't support the same team. That's fine. But I'm just saying this whole argument of you can't do this because your partner does that, you don't know the sport. Dude, the only sport I'm watching is this sport because my partner supports it. Of course, I'm going to be inclined. Stop
And
it,
you
guys.
get into it. You genuinely learn to love it. Like,
Yeah.
just over time.
But can you, like, what happens if you guys break up? What if you support United?
Now you stop.
What if you support
Then
like
fuck that team. Fuck that team.
No. I would stick
But
with the
Jeezy,
team.
understand what I'm saying is not that you just support it because your partner supports it. You learn to love the game through your partner. Being a partner, a sibling, relative of anyone who supports football, you learn football. So just because the relationship breaks does not mean that your love for what you've learned breaks as well. It's like a learning experience. I'm not just saying like you wake up one morning and you're like, yes, I'm gonna support the worst team, Arsenal, and that's gonna be it. No, you learn, you pick up things. You pick up at the lowest level what an offside is. That's what it's about. Like it's about building that. And I'm saying it's not bad. So people must stop making it seem like it's the worst thing in the world. You get what I'm saying?
It's bonding.
And it's tough. It's
bonding.
tough. If you have an Arsenal partner, it's tough as fuck.
Teaches you resilience. Like I remember that. Now that concept, remember it.
No,
So
and the
clutch.
thing is, I do agree. Like, you should stick with your team. Like, loyalty is everything.
But what are you loyal to if you don't have any knowledge of the team and you're just riding on the wave there? I know my partner has this sort of knowledge. Like,
No, you're gonna.
you know
gain
what I
the
mean?
knowledge.
Like, I just want to know also, like I said, what's the probability of you changing teams? Sharp, now you've learned, okay, you rode on the wave, but now you know what football's about and you understand the game. Can you now stand for yourself and be able to be like, hi there, dude, listen, I love you, Sharp, but I'm gonna switch teams because we're locked in the darkness here. So, I'm gonna flourish. Like, is that not being disloyal if I only came in onto the something that I understand? Like, now that I understand the game, I start to see.
like you treat underwear. On to the next one. It doesn't work like that.
Dude,
It
the
doesn't
thing
work
is
like
because
that.
I'm just saying, when you have better knowledge of the game, because you didn't start with that knowledge, but now you have it, it's literally
Okay, dude.
in front of you. So now you can make a more informed decision as to which team you want to join. You don't have to now stick to it because your partner is that team and you're introduced to it that way. That's what I'm saying.
Fair point, very fair point. But I think, I can't speak for everyone, but I know for me, look, Arsenal sucks, okay? It's not fun. It's like, it's shit. But for me, I understand football now. And I learned football through watching Arsenal play.
Exactly.
So every time I sat down with my partner, it would be like, he does this, he plays this, he plays this. I honestly don't know other teams' positions. I don't really care to learn. So in my head, I've learned Arsenal's gameplay. I know how things work through that team. And honestly, like, I think...
Let it talk.
Yeah, honestly, it's for me, it's not about just, I support Arsenal because baby supports Arsenal. It's also just the team that I learned football with. And if it's something that's natural to me right now, then I don't know. It's kind of fun wallowing in your sorrow for Arsenal.
I think that's a pretty good point to end the conversation. Thank you very much for joining us, guests. Team Cape Town, I really do, on behalf of Team Cape Town itself, I do apologize for not having any bubbles for you tonight, but we will send you bubbles. We will do what we can to say thank you.
Thanks.
Oh,
Never
look
mind.
at that.
Never mind.
We've got some nuts, guys.
Look, they're showing
Oh, you guys are cute.
We have Bella. Thank you very much, Bella Yim.
Thank you.
You know, summer extreme, right? You're trying to
Thank you very much.
Show off them Oreos.
Look how they're showing off their
Team German. Ladies.
Just wrap it, Cheesy.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys. This was a very much enjoyed episode of The Floor Is Yours. To my guests, thank you. And we meet.